Okay, I'm going to be making this little chicken pot holder. So it's really easy to make. I'm going to be using Peaches and Cream. It's a 100% 4-ply cotton yarn. If you want to make sure that you use cotton for a pot holder because acrylic will melt if you try to pick something hot up with it. But I guess if you're just using it for decoration, acrylic would probably work. But I'm going to use 100% cotton. And color I'm using is called Oasis. Of course, you use any color that you want. And I'm using a size I 5.5mm crochet hook. Okay, and you want to start off with a slip knot. And I'm going to start with a chain of 4. Now if you want to use the magic circle here, you can. Otherwise, go ahead and slip stitch into the first stitch to form a ring. Now I'm going to do a chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. And then I'm going to go back through the center of the ring and do 11 more double crochets. So counting that chain 3, I'll have a total of 12 double crochets. Okay, once you get your 12 double crochets, sometimes you can pull this tail and make your center circle a little bit smaller. Closes it up a little bit. Now I'm not gonna close it. What I'm gonna do now is chain 3 and turn my work. Now I'm gonna go back across. This time I'm gonna put 2 double crochets in every stitch. So this chain 3 counts as the first one. So I'm going to go back into the same stitch right here and do another one. So that's like 2 double crochets in that first stitch. So now I'm going to work all the way around, putting 2 double crochets in each stitch. So you should have a total of 24 stitches when you get back around to the other side. Okay, I'm coming to the end here, and you want to make sure you put your last 2 double crochets into the top of this chain 3. Don't want to forget that chain, otherwise it's going to be kind of lopsided. Just like that. Now I'm going to chain 3 and turn. That chain 3 counts as my first double crochet. Now this round, this is going to be my first double crochet in the first stitch. I'm going to jump to the next stitch and I'm going to put 2 double crochets in the next stitch. And then I'm going to go to the next stitch and it's just going to be 1 double crochet. Next stitch is going to have 2 double crochets. So I'm just gradually increasing it, making it bigger. The next one is just going to be 1 double crochet, and then the next stitch will be 2. So you just want to repeat that: 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, until you get back to this side. Okay, when you make it to the end, your last you should have 2 stitches in your last stitch, and it should be in the top of that chain 3 there. And you should have a total of 36 stitches at the end of this round. Now I'm going to chain 3, and that's going to be my first double crochet. Turn my work. Now this time this is my first double crochet. I'm going to go to the next stitch and I'm going to put 1 double crochet. And then the next stitch I'm going to put 2 double crochets. Like that. Now the next stitch is going to get 1 double crochet. The next one, 1 double crochet. And the next one will get 2 double crochets. So that's the repeat this time around. 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the stitch after that, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So it's 2 double crochets in between each of the increased stitches, where the increased stitches are 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So double crochet, 2 double crochets, double, double, 2, all the way till you get to the end, and you should have a total of 48 stitches at the end of this round. Okay, I'm coming to the end, and again, you should end in an increase, and it should be in the top of this chain 3, 2 double crochets in that last stitch. Now I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work. I'm going to go around one more time. This time it's going to be 3 double crochets in a row and then an increase. So this is our first one. We're going to go to the next stitch and double crochet, and then the next one and double crochet. So that's 3 double crochets in a row, and the next one is going to be an increase. It's going to get 2 double crochets in the same stitch, just like that. Now 3 double crochets in a row. There's 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So you just want to repeat this until you get to the end, and you should have a total of 60 stitches at the end of this round. Okay, once you made it to the end, should be an increased stitch at the end again, and you have 60 stitches. Now I'm going to go down here and back up with single crochet. So I'm just going to chain 1, and I'm going to work my way down, putting a single crochet in these stitches. Now, since you're working on the sides of these double crochets, it's going to be kind of hard to tell where they go. So I just kind of evenly space my single crochets out. It's kind of like this. It don't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be a certain number. Just get them kind of evenly spaced down the side. Okay, when you get down here to the center, single crochet right through that center. And now chain 12. This is going to be the little ring to hook it up on the something with. Now go back down again into the ring again, and a single crochet right back into that center ring, center hole again, like that. If you want this bigger or smaller, you can adjust the number of chains. Now just work your way back up, evenly spacing out single crochets. All this is doing is kind of cleaning up these rough edges. Make it look a little bit neater up the side. Okay, when you get to the top here, go ahead and single crochet in this top stitch, like that. So that's what it kind of looks like. Remember, there was no certain number of stitches you had to have. Just evenly space them out. Okay, you single crocheted into that top stitch. Now you're going to go back into that same stitch and double crochet, or half double crochet, I'm sorry. Single crochet, half double crochet, and then double crochet, all into the same stitch, like that. And then you go to the next stitch, and we're going to be working triple crochets. It's where you yarn over twice, go through and triple. 1, go back in and triple again. 2, again, all in the same stitch. 3, again. 4, again. 5, again. 6, again. 7, and then one more time after that for a total of 8 triple crochets all into that same stitch. Now we're going to go to the next stitch, and I'm going to do a double crochet, and then a half double crochet in that same stitch, and then a single crochet in that same stitch, like that. So we did, in the first stitch, we did a single, a half double, and a double. The next stitch was 8 triples, and then we went to the next stitch and did a double, a half double, and a single. Now we're going to go and work five single crochets in a row. There's 1, go to the next stitch, 2, the next stitch, 3, the next stitch, 4, the next stitch is 5. So now we got his head made. Now we're going to put the feathery shell stitching on. So we're going to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and in the next stitch we're going to put 7 double crochets in the same stitch. 7. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you want to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and single crochet in the next. And then we'll skip 2 stitches again, skip, skip, put 7 double crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, skip 2, skip, skip, and single crochet in the next. Skip 2, skip, skip, 7 doubles in the next. So we're just going to repeat this pattern until you get all the way around the bottom up to back here. Okay, once you make it all the way to the end, and I'm just going to reach around and slip stitch into the top of one of these single crochets up here. Slip stitch, and now I'm going to tie this off, clip my yarn, like that. There he got his main body made. Now we'll work on his face. So I'm going to use some red. I'm going to work in the stitch up here that we put a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double in. I'm going to start in that single crochet. So I'm going to start by pull my yarn through, and I'm going to chain 1. Okay, I'm going to go back into the same stitch, and I'm going to put a single crochet, a half double crochet, and then a double, all into that same stitch. Now I'm going to skip a stitch, and in the next one I'm going to do the same thing. Single, half double, and then a double. Skip a stitch, and the next stitch, single, half double, and a double. Skip a stitch, the next one, single, half double, and then a double. Skip a stitch, the next stitch, single, half double, and a double, like that. So you have 5 of these little shell stitches. Now I'm just gonna tie it off right now, just like that. Okay, you want to make sure you pull the make that knot tight, and then when you sew it in, use your yarn needle and sew it in. Pull it kind of tight. Run it through. Pull it tight there, so it's not quite so pointed at the top. And then just sew it in and hide your tail. Like that. Now I'm going to make the red on the chest. I'm going to start. Okay, I'm going to start down here in that stitch that we put the double, the half double, and the single. I'm going to start in that single crochet. And I'm going to chain 1. And now I'm going to jump to the next stitch and single crochet. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to half double crochet. And in the next stitch, I'm going to double crochet. And in the next stitch, I'm going to single crochet. Like that. And then I'm just going to slip stitch into the next stitch. And tie that off. And you want to hide them tails. Now I'm going to come up here and put a beak. Okay, I'm going to start, and here's where my last little top of the chicken went. I'm going to skip the next stitch, and I'm going to start in the next one. And I'm going to start with a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. And I'm going to single crochet into the next stitch right here. And then I'm going to come to the next stitch right down here and slip stitch. Like that. Then I'm going to tie this off and hide that tail like that. I'll hide them tails in a second. I'm going to go ahead and put an eye on here, and I'm just going to sew it on with my yarn needle. Just going to take a piece of black yarn, and wherever I want my eye, I'm just going to come from the bottom up. And just sew a little eye on. Go up one more time. Like that. And then you want to hide these tails. So I'm going to go ahead and hide all these tails real quick. Okay, once you get all your tails hidden, that's it. It's really pretty easy. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to check out all my other tutorials. And you can always come and post all your pictures on my Facebook page. I'll post a link to that below in the description box. And until next time, have a good day.